Okay, awesome. Well, welcome again. Today is the third element of our four elements to authentic connection. And I'm very excited about today. Today's a biggie. I will tell you, I'm going to try to talk fast because there's so much to talk about today. So I'm going to try to really talk fast and get it all done before our 20 to 30-minute goal runs out. So, guys, today is engage in conversation. So when you look at your little form, that I hope you all have printed out that you're going to be utilizing. Step 3 is engage, E for engage. And y'all, this is going to be when we're doing our power hour, the 15 minutes of magic money step. And I think you'll understand as I get toward the end why it's called that. Conversations, y'all, that is the key to gaining future customers. So who do you think will have the most customers to help? Do you think it would be a partner who is actively in only one conversation with one person, or a partner who's actively talking to 30 people? Yes, intuitively, you understand that the more conversations you're in, the more opportunities you have that will convert to customers or partners. We get this, we do. So, this is the magic money step, being in conversation with lots of people that you are socially engaged with. Relationships begin with conversation. All relationships begin in conversation. And engaging in conversation is where relationships are nurtured. So I want you to write this down. Nurture relationships and your business will grow. Nurture relationships and your business will grow. And let's talk about the algorithms, because the Simple Power Hour that we're going to be starting next week, and let me put a plug for that, 11 a.m. Central Time, Monday through Thursday of next week, and also Tuesday evenings at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Okay. So the Simple Power Hour is designed to gain customers through your social media content. Okay. Not that you won't also be talking to people face to face, but this is a social media avenue to gaining customers. So while you're chatting about, whatever it is you're chatting about, guess what? The algorithms are going to be showing them your content. Content that does what again? Helps them to get to know you, to decide if you're trustworthy, and if they would like to buy from you. They're becoming interested in what you have to offer through your content. And at those first three elements, those are putting them in your path, and they're making a decision. Their interest in you, their desire for what you have to offer, that is growing as you go through those first three steps. And today we're on step 3. So we've trained on all 3 steps as of the end of today. So how do you increase your sales? You increase your conversations. That's why this is the magic money step. But it can't happen if you don't implement, work at, and absolutely embrace and commit to these 3 elements that we've talked about over the last 3 days in order. So you have to do them in order. That's why I have it on the document as a clockwise circle, right? And you do it over and over and over again. So yesterday I asked you to make a commitment to 90 days. Are you willing to do that in order to increase your growth this year? Are you willing? And only you can answer that. And only you can put in the discipline and the work to grow your business. We're teaching you the steps, but the steps only work if you do, right? So the next thing I want to share with you is that the better your content becomes, the more people will desire what you have to offer, and the easier it will be for them to reach out to you about what you have to offer. So here's how this works, okay? I want you to see this. Do you see why this is the magic money step? You must start with visibility. We trained on that on day 1. You must start with visibility. That piece you can never, ever, ever skip. Don't ever, ever skip it, right? Then you're going to have content for the three different types of viewers that you have in your audience, because you do have different types of viewers in your audience. One of the types of viewers that you may have is someone that they don't know you at all, but you're just Facebook friends. They don't know you at all. That is one type of viewer. The content that you're going to provide for them is very different to help them gain desire than content provided for someone that they actually already have somewhat of a relationship with you. They already have trust in you and they know a little bit about you. They think, hey, I kind of like her. I'm happy to be friends with her on Facebook, but you haven't yet really got off the porch and into the house. So you're going to nurture. So that's another type of audience that you have, someone that you're going to be nurturing. And then you have in your audience people that have some degree of interest in the product or opportunity, but they haven't yet decided that they desire it or that you are the one that has the solution to their problem. So you've got this content that you're creating out there for these three different types of viewers in your audience, and that's what's going to get them into conversations. Now, the conversation piece takes a little bit of boldness, but only a little bit, y'all, because you're just talking to them like a normal human. You are not trying to get them to buy anything in this step. Okay. So it takes a little bit of boldness to initiate the conversation, but only a little bit. Okay. Now, we talked yesterday about content. There's so much about content. But what I want to tell you is that in the beginning, your content may not be great, and that's okay. In the beginning, you might feel clumsy when you're putting together these new posts, when you're trying to think of the right hook to get people to stop the scroll and to spend some time and interest on your page or on your feed. And that's okay. You may also feel like I do still. You may also feel a lot like, okay, I put this post out there. I thought it was really, really good, and I didn't get much engagement. That's going to be okay. That can sometimes happen. I did a post, it's probably a week ago, and I did not have one single person comment. And guess what? Was that a failure? Absolutely not, because I learned about my audience. I learned what they want. I learned what they don't want. I learned something also about myself. That was a really lazy post I put out. I didn't think through, who am I trying to serve? I did not think through, okay, what kind of hook can I utilize? What can I put that serves them so that it's about them? It was just one of those days that I had not scheduled enough time to do my power hour. So I was in a hurry and I was lazy. And so what I did is I used this really funny, what I thought was funny, picture of this big orangutan with this big belly. And I put a little caption on the picture and I threw it out there. And guess what? It didn't land. It didn't land. But I still learned something. I learned that I can't be lazy, that I need to do, a little bit better about navigating my time. And I already knew that. I also learned that people don't stop for pictures that are just random stuff. Okay. So I learned something. So it wasn't a failure. Russ Sweat used to tell us we either fail or we learn. And so I learned something with that. Wasn't a failure, not at all. So we're going to be aware of what we're putting out there. So today, if you go and take a look at my page today, which you don't have to be my friend, anyone can look because it's public. If you go and take a look at my page for today, you'll see that I did a post about my sweet hubby, my college sweetheart. I put a post out. Now, what do you think that post was for? Was that a post to nurture a relationship? Was that a post for new people that are new to my page, maybe new followers that don't really know me yet? Well, my intention was, number one, I really would like to get some true to life suggestions on where we might go for our anniversary, but I took the opportunity to give them a peek into my world. And when people feel like they know you, even people, I've got thousands of friends on Facebook, and the small percentage that actually see it, which is not a lot, If we have 3,000 friends and we put a post out and we expect for 300 people to see it, they're probably not. Might be even closer to 30, unless we're doing the visibility step, which I said we never, ever, ever can forget. And then we're doing the conversation step on the other side. Then more people see it. But that post was designed for people to be able to take a little glimpse into our life and decide whether, hey, this is who I am. This is authentically who I am. I'm a person that's been married almost 33 years. I'm a person that my first date was to a Disney movie. Maybe you consider that boring. I have all these things in there that tell a little bit about me. And guess what? My job is not to worry about whether you like our life or think we're boring or think you want to, be besties with us. But it did serve a purpose to speak to those people in my audience that don't know me. Okay, so just thinking about that. Okay, next thing I want to say about this before we talk about these conversations specifically and how to get into them. The next thing I want to say, this is really important. We're in a 30-day sales cycle. Okay, in our business, our numbers start over on the first day of each month. Okay, now what can really, really help that? My personal favorite thing to say, that my subscription, that's my salary. On the first day of every month, if I look at that and I'm like, oh, I got 40,000 points on subscription, I'm like, I can take it to the bank. I'm going to make, $4,000 this month or whatever. So I say that a lot, but we are still in a 30-day sales cycle. We start over at the beginning of every month and our numbers start over. So I really don't think that we pay enough attention to what we did last month or the month before that affects what we reap in this month or even the month following. So I think a lot of times we have this scarcity mentality where we're like, okay, who can I talk to? Who can I sign up? Who can I punch and try to get them on board with me? And we tend to forget that if your funnel's dry, it's not dry because of what you did yesterday. You might have reached out to 50 people yesterday. It's dry because of what you didn't do back in May, back in June. So I'm telling you this because I want us to start thinking a little bit broader. This is not instantaneous. We talked about that yesterday. You've got to give this, some time, 90 days. Does that mean you don't do the things you've always done? No, keep doing those. You've been getting sales that way. But this power hour that we're committing to over the next, hopefully 90 days, this power hour that we're going to be doing is to get you into conversation. So let's talk about the conversation. This is big, big, big. Okay. So what are your conversations about? So I'm going to tell you kind of the flow of the way that this works. So if you go back if you go back to, gosh, I don't know, maybe mid-June, but if you go back in my feed, what you're going to see sometime mid-June is I did 7 days in a row of a specific formula that I learned. I've shared this before, and I want to be authentic, and I want to be honest in that these things that I've learned that I'm teaching are things I learned from a course that I'm taking through Kristen Boss. She has something called the Hub. And so basically you sign up for 90 days for her hub, and she guarantees you're going to make your money back in the 90 days. Okay. She teaches all kinds of stuff. But before I did the hub, I did a 7-day thing, and I don't remember what it's called, connection to conversion. I can't remember. But every day you were supposed to do a certain kind of post. Well, if you go back and look, I did a post about my journey. It was a 2-part post about my journey. And if you look at that 2-part post, my call to action was, if you want to learn about, the 8 healthy habits or something like that, I have this free online event, comment link or send me a message link. And I told y'all yesterday I had 6 people that did that. Okay. So I started with a post. I started with a particular strategy to get people's eyeballs on my page for 3 or 4 days. And then I transitioned into more specific stuff. And I ended with my story and my health journey and why I am a person that knows how to teach you healthy habits because I've lived it myself and I've went from this problem to this solution so I can help you and I'm going to serve you. And it was all about serving, not making a sale. It was about serving. Okay. So in that, I had somebody, I don't even know how I know her, that sent me a message that said, I'd love to learn about your healthy habits. Great. She actually reached out to me. We started a conversation. Now, this conversation did start with her asking specifically for help with a problem, but you know why? Because my content had been talking to her for several days in a row. And that's what good content is going to be able to do. But y'all, this piece is the most important. If you're going to put the content out, put it out, put it out, put it out, and then twiddle your thumbs and hope people are seeing it and hope people are going to reach out to you, that just isn't the way that it works. So she had been commenting on my stuff. And guess what? I had a conversation with her in the comments of my own post that she was seeing. Then I was going to her Facebook page, and what was I doing? I was commenting and interacting with her about things that are on her post. Okay, that's what I was doing. So we're building this conversation. So one of the visuals that Kristen Voss has given, and again, I want to always give credit where credit's due, is this is a lot of what I've learned from her. So she made this comment that if you go and knock on somebody's door, maybe you're a new neighbor and they don't know you yet, you don't barge right in their front door. You may stand on the porch and have some very generic conversation because y'all don't know each other yet. Yes, you're having a conversation, but it's going to be very generic because you really don't have a relationship. So, y'all, when we go to somebody's messenger and we're like, hey, can I invite you to my VIP page? I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a VIP page, and I don't know if you've noticed, but I've lost 80 pounds, and you look like you could lose about 40 pounds. Your face is fat. Can I tell you about what I have to offer? I mean, I know y'all are laughing, and we would never say it with those words, but I think that that's how it sometimes can come across to people. So when you start talking about your product or what you have to offer, I think that people's guard goes up, right? Just like if you went to meet your neighbor for the first time once they've moved in and you barge in their house, their guard's going to be up. They may be like grabbing for their pistol because they don't know what in the heck are you doing in my house when I don't even know you. So just keep that in mind. So let's talk about, go back to this conversation. So this conversation I was having with her, being on her front porch is talking in the comments of her own post. Now she puts those posts out for the world to see, right? So I have the opportunity to go and comment on her post, and that's not weird. She's put it out there, right? So she let me on her front porch by putting that post out there. So I'm talking to her there. Always, always, always write this down. The question mark is your best friend. Okay. You don't just say, oh, that baby doll is, that baby doll or that puppy's so cute. There's no continuation in a conversation. I think about when Jansen was a little boy, we spent so much time in the backyard and I would throw the ball to him. And at first he couldn't catch the ball, but he'd run chase it and he'd bring it to me. But then as that skill developed, I could throw it to him. Eventually he could catch it. He couldn't throw it back yet, but eventually he could catch it. But we kept practicing. And eventually he could catch the ball and he could throw it back. And we could go back and forth and back and forth. A conversation is back and forth. And each person on each end of the conversation has the opportunity to drop the ball. And when they do, the conversation's over, right? So always remember the question mark is your best friend because the question mark is an invitation for them to throw the ball back to you or for them to reciprocate and say something. That's how you keep the conversation going. They won't always respond. In fact, you may have 50% or more. I don't have the data. but you may have 50% or more that they don't ever even, once you're trying to talk with them in Messenger, they may not respond. And you know what? That's okay, because other people will. And the more visibility you get, the more conversations that you initiate, the more that you get into conversations with, that percentage, whatever it may be for you and your audience, whatever it is, a percentage of them are going to respond. And then the better you are at nurturing that relationship, getting in the house and not being stuck on the front porch. And y'all, what are these conversations about? This with this woman, my example that I've given you. You know what the conversation is about? It's about life, her life. It's about the post that she just made. So again, Christian Boss KB says the conversation is the goal. They may or may not respond, and that's okay. Because guess what? And this is huge. This is why this is the magic money step. The algorithms are still going to reward you for being social. That's exciting. Because even if they don't respond back to you, people aren't responding back, the algorithms still reward you. Isn't that good news? Okay, next thing I want you to remember is that each conversation is unique. So back to my example, right? I did a post. She's commenting. I'm commenting on the visibility piece that we trained on Monday. I'm commenting on her post. I'm asking open-ended questions in her post. She's responding. Then she starts seeing my stuff. That's the reward of the algorithm. She's commenting on my stuff. I'm talking to her there. Always, always, always respond to every single comment. Every single comment is your opportunity. And that's where you're first, going to be talking on the porch, right? So every single comment you respond to. So our conversations were either in her post comments or in my post comments, right? Then I transitioned this piece. I transitioned and I was talking to her now in a messenger chat. What did I talk to her about? Again, life. So I asked her a question and she responded and she's telling me about her son. And I'm like, oh, how old is your son? I have a daughter and a son. How old is yours? He's 18. Oh, how exciting. Is he out of high school already? She's like, no, he's in his senior year. Oh my goodness, I remember. I remember what that was like when my kids were in their senior year. Does he know yet what his plans are after high school? Is he interested in joining the military, getting a job, going to a technical school, going to a college? So I am interested in her life. Have you heard that saying that the most interesting people in the world are the people that are interested in you? Be curious, be interested. You're only talking about life or something that they've put out there in their post, because that's not weird, y'all. That's how we interact and communicate with people. If they've put a post out, it's not weird that you would know that about them and ask them questions about it. And also, if you're talking about their life, that's not weird. Send a voice. Sorry, send a voicemail. I had a call coming in. Okay. And the other thing about this is that makes each conversation unique. Okay. My conversation with her is different than if I was in a conversation with Delphi. Okay. And guess what? Algorithms love that. Algorithms love that when your conversations are unique. So do not ever ruin the rewards you get for being social by copying and pasting things over and over and over like you're a robot. Copy and paste will hurt your algorithm. So be a human, not a robot. Talk like you would talk to a friend. Be friendly, be social. Because guess what? And here's the third thing about this. They're getting to know you, but y'all, you're getting to know them too. Just because you find out that someone is broke, that does not mean they're a good fit for your business, right? There is a time in my life that if I was talking to someone and they said, well, money's tight, or I'm broke, or I can't afford even one product or whatever, it was like, maybe they need to be a partner and I'm helping them fix their life and save their life. While it is true that if people are, have a specific financial need or struggling with in needing an extra income. While it's true that that's a way that we can serve and help them, tuck that in the back of your mind, not in the front of your mind. And here's why. It could be that they have a victim mentality. It could be that they're broke because they're lazy. It could be that they're dishonest. And we don't know that yet. And I'm certainly, please hear me say this. It is not my character to prejudge people. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is you're getting to know them and vet them too. See if they're a person that, goes to work every day. Maybe they're in a difficult time. Gosh, it's hard right now. It's reasonable that everybody would be struggling with money with what's going on in our economy. And that's one thing. But as you're talking to them and you're getting to know them, you will find out pretty quickly if they are a good fit for you. Okay. So here's the thing. Visibility, that's element 1. Never skip it. Get as many eyes as possible on your post. You're going to create specific content that connects with the right people. That's what we trained on yesterday. Today is all about the magic money step, which is being in conversations. If you're in 200 conversations, you're probably going to have, and you get better and better and better and better at this. You may have 30 orders this month. But what you're doing is you're engaging with them. You're letting them decide if they know, like, and trust you. Your content is what's selling them. One of the biggest questions I had when I started this, and gosh, it was so hard for me. I'm like, okay, I'm in this conversation, me and Delphi, we're talking. I've gotten to know her. I like her. I think she'd be a good partner. I think that these products would be great for her. When do I pivot to talking to her about my product or opportunity? Because the last thing I want to do is spend a lot of time becoming best friends with Delphi and then pounce on her and go, oh, by the way, I really didn't care about getting to know you. That wasn't authentic. I just wanted to have an opportunity to sell you something. That was so icky for me. That's what caused me to go and look for a different way to do this that was more authentic and professional and felt normal to me. So the answer, you're not going to like it. I didn't like it. The answer is you don't pivot. The answer is you continue to interact and have conversations with that person in their post, in your post when they're commenting, in Messenger. You continue to have those conversations and it will come up, or your content is where you sell to them. Okay. Now, one of the things I haven't been good at that I'm working on right now, and if you go back and look, I mean, gosh, it's out there for all to see. I have not been good at showing them what solutions I have. They'd have to go too far back, right? Because I've been working on engagement, trying to see whose eyeballs are on my stuff. I've been filling the waters. But what I do have, I have hundreds of names on a list now of people that have interacted with me in the comments of my post. Hundreds. So guess what? When I get to this part, the conversation part, this step 3 part, engagement, I got a bunch of people I can go to their post and engage with. As long as they've got something interesting that's a recent post that I can go to and I can ask questions in the comments and whatnot, I don't have to sit down and go, oh, who am I going to talk to today? But until you get there, what I'd like you to do, go into your Facebook list. You've got a list in Facebook of all your Facebook friends. You can even sort it by who your new friends are. And so you can go there, you can sort it alphabetically, you can do whatever you want. You can sort it by the high school you went to, where you could go to people, start commenting on their stuff and say, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that we have been out of high school for, X number of years already. Catch me up. That's a normal thing that you would say to someone that you haven't seen since high school. If you haven't talked to somebody in 6 months, you can say that to, oh my goodness, it's been so long since we've talked. Debbie, tell me what you got going on. What have you been doing with yourself this summer? That is not weird. Okay. That is a way that okay. Something very weird just happened. Do y'all still see me?
Yeah, no.
No.
I see a whiteboard.
Me
Mm-mm.
too. I thought I
Yeah.
did something.
Well, gosh, I don't.
Touch
Okay.
it.
Okay, I don't know what happened, but Jan and I are both on the same one. So maybe it's because we're both on the same one, or maybe it's one of those things. If you raise your hand, it does it for you. I don't know, but we're done anyway. Y'all just hang with me just for a few more. There we are. Y'all are back. Okay, hang with me just for a few more sentences. So what I'm wanting to say to you is I want you to get into a lot of conversations. You now know how to do that. I want you to be a real person. Last thing, you do not have to write all these down or put them in Teamsy like a crazy person. It does not matter. All these people that you're talking with, the goal is not to have to follow up with all of these people. Okay. They are only a person you're following up with once y'all are throwing the ball back and forth, and the ball is talking about your product or your opportunity. Okay. So if I'm in 30 conversations, if I start 30 conversations today, I don't put all 30 of those conversations, those names in my Teamsy or on my piece of paper. I don't do that. Okay. I only put the ones where we're at the point that I have generated enough interest and desire in what I have to offer that they're reaching out to me about it, or in our conversation, like I was in one yesterday and I was talking about how I spent most of the day, day before yesterday, and I said I spent most of the day working out on the back porch because it was a soft rain. It was amazing. And she said, "Oh, what do you do that you can work from home?" Perfect. Perfect. She asked me. And it wasn't because that was shoving it down her throat. She asked me because I said I spent most of the day. And that was true. I did. I spent most of Monday working on the back porch. Does that all make sense? I hope so. I hope that makes sense. So here's what we're going to do. Hang on just a second.